So here we are then, back again at the grandstand in the Isle of Man in Douglas. Excited, it's coming closer now. It's Pokerstars rally time, of course, it's happening tomorrow night. Friday night is when the rally starts. Right now, we're with Geoff Doe, who's head of scrutineering here in the Isle of Man and for this rally, but also scrutineering at other rallies and obviously other races too, including bikes and all sorts. I mean, you've got quite a varied job, haven't you?
Absolutely, yes. In fact, I was over in the UK this morning scrutineering on a rally, the Rally of the Tests. Came from there, went straight to Liverpool Airport, flew here, and here we are now doing the second rally of the day.
It's going to be a little bit busy in here, so if there is any issues, of course, with sound, then please do bear with us, because cars, of course, are coming in and out. That's the nature, literally, of where we're standing here. So if the sound isn't great, then do please obviously let us know. Stephen is on the camera tonight, so Stephen's going to let us know. Just let us know that the sound's okay. Give us a thumbs up and make sure that you can hear the sound okay. So, Geoff, this is a first for me. I've not covered the rally before, and I've not been in scrutineering for the rally either, obviously. I have done it at TT, but it's a completely different beast, isn't it?
Yes, it is completely. There's no comparison, TT scrutineering and rally car scrutineering, completely different beast altogether.
So basically, I mean, you can't get scrutineers to do both the jobs?
It's not usual. I mean, I've got experience on both sides. There's been one or two guys from the Isle of Man because the TT and bike racing here is so prevalent. And Chris Rowe, Chris Martin, his son, was world champion, and Chris did both disciplines. So yeah, there's one or two of us about.
You've got to know your bikes, you've got to know your cars. So looking at obviously the scrutineering here for the Pokerstars rally, just what are the types of things that you're looking out for?
Well, there's two things really. We're looking at the safety aspect of the car. So when the car comes in, we check the lights because they've got to comply to road laws. So when you dip the lights, the spotlights have to go out. You can't drive down the road with dazzling the people with spotlights. So that's the first thing we check. And then we go around the car, look inside, make sure the seats are secure, make sure the seat belts and seats are in date because they have a life. Make sure the fire extinguisher works, and there's a test procedure to do on that. We check the suits and the helmets, and yeah, that's the safety aspect of it. And also you sort of have a crafty look at the eligibility of the car for the class that it's running in. Because
the engines are going to be different, I guess, with each class that you're running in.
Yeah, exactly. Engines are one thing, but I mean there's 101 things that you sort of not necessarily spend any great time on, but they're in the back of your mind when you're looking around.
What type of things though, Geoff?
If it's a turbo car, we have to measure the turbo because they have restrictors in them, and you know, they have to be measured and sealed up so that the restrictor can't be changed during the course of the event. And yeah, there's several things that we check, but that's one of the main items.
What are the types of things that people perhaps are a little bit cheeky with and try to tweak themselves and get away with?
That's a difficult one.
Again, put you on the spot now.
No, well, no. Everybody's got their own little take on that, and yeah, the turbo cars are the ones that they tend to cheat with mostly. And also then there's fuel issues because you can have higher spec fuel which gives much more power, and so that, yeah, there are several things really.
So just looking at the cars coming in, I mean this one looks pretty tidy right from the start. I mean obviously Manx registration plate, we know it's going to be a local I keep saying rider, that has got to stop. A local driver. It's Howard Alston, Chris Hayes, we've got I think Collister and Yates in the other car here, two completely different looking cars. But you know, when you actually look at the design of the cars and what they've put in to make these cars and what they look like, you obviously take that on board as well, I guess.
Yes, I mean, I suppose the main thing to look at is from a safety aspect, is the roll cage, and there's several designs of roll cages, and they have to comply, and whether it's a BMW like the cars we're looking at now or a Ford Fiesta or whatever. You couldn't fit a cage out of a BMW into a Ford Fiesta. You know, it's got to comply with that particular car. So that's one of the main items we look at.
What would you say is the most popular type of car that you see coming through here?
Now, depending on what rally you're on this particular event, there's a lot of guys running BMWs because it's a cheap, easy car to use for the clubman. But at the sharp end, there's a lot of Fiestas and Ford Focuses and Subarus. because they've still got the power, the four-wheel drive, and there's lots of parts available, lots of tuning bits available for them. So there's quite a few of those still about. And
obviously that's really incredibly important, isn't it? Because obviously there's more in stock, then it perhaps makes it a bit cheaper, doesn't it?
Yes, for sure. Yeah.
Okay, so just going off a little bit now of tangent, because not so much talking about the rally, but you've just told me a story, obviously, a bit about your background in the Isle of Man history. Just tell the viewers that, because we are live here. Chris Boyd is just here to join us as well. We'll be talking to Chris in just a minute. We're live on Facebook. Thank you so much for joining us here this evening. We are in Scrutineering, and for the Pokerstars rally with Geoff Doe as well. Geoff Doe's head of Scrutineering here for the Pokerstars rally, but you've got quite a strong connection with the Isle of Man TT as well, haven't you?
Yes, I came over here for the Manx rally in 1977 to service for a friend of mine, and but prior to that I worked for a guy called Stuart Graham, and Stuart's father was Les Graham, and Les Graham has a memorial on the TT course. Sadly got killed in mid-1950s and at Bray Hill. And then Stuart, his son, who I worked for 32 years, became a works rider for both Honda and Suzuki, and still comes back here at the age of 70-odd to do the odd demonstration run. And so I've got links with both sides of it, really.
How does it feel to be back in the Isle of Man?
Oh, it's great. I usually come about 4 or 5 times a year to the rallies, and I always enjoy coming.
This one's pretty special as the rally goes. It's such a great entry list this weekend.
Yes, it's been particularly good this year because the Isle of Mull rally was cancelled. So the people that would have normally done the Isle of Mull rally have actually entered this one. So it's made
really helped us then.
It's made a very strong entry, yeah.
What are you most looking forward to, perhaps, about obviously the rally over the next few days?
Well, I don't really see a great deal of the rally. When the cars come into service, we have a look round to make sure if there's any damage, we need to re-inspect that to make sure the car's safe to go out. So I don't really see too much of the event actually going on.
So now that the car's obviously going through scrutineering, I guess there's a level of trust that happens from now, is there? Because obviously these cars aren't out to rally until tomorrow night. So is there a level of trust that happens because no tweaks are made before then?
Yes, absolutely, there is. And in fairness, there's not too many people that want to, stretch those limits. But, there is a level of trust, yeah, for sure.
Did you get any narky drivers?
Oh, yeah. But we always say, the scrutineer is always right, so please yourself.
Geoff, you've done a great job. Obviously, I've taken you out along of your job longer than you needed to. I really appreciate your time with us. Thanks so much, Geoff. That's great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's great. So that's Geoff Doe, head of scrutineering here at the Pokerstars rally. I'm going to catch up with Chris Boyd. He's just walking out to the other side of the scrutineering bay. So we'll be back with you in just a couple of minutes.